Last week's snow was pretty. This week's ice storm is going to be much, much more impactful and problematic. Let's talk about it in today's Texas Weather Roundup. All right, good morning. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It is the 30th of January 2023, coming up on 5 a.m. Monday at the onset of what looks to be a multi-day, multi-round significant winter storm that is going to impact several regions in Texas. We've seen a couple changes overnight. Data has trended colder. The cold front has been faster than expected, and precipitation may be getting started more quickly. Let's head on over and take a look at the current watches, warnings, and advisories. And again, these are probably going to change somewhat through the day, so don't be surprised if the map looks a bit different later. But we are dealing with a winter storm warning now, shown in the pink. That includes all of the hill country, central Texas, the Concho Valley, the Big Country, parts of the Brazos Valley, North Texas, Texoma, and portions of Northeast Texas. This includes San Angelo, Kerrville, Austin, Waco, the entirety of the DFW Metroplex, Sherman, Paris, Tyler, and Abilene. A winter storm watch includes parts of the Permian Basin into northwest Texas, Midland, La Mesa, Snyder, up to Vernon, Wichita Falls. And finally, a winter weather traveler's advisory includes the San Antonio Metro west to Del Rio in the Edwards Plateau. I'm too tired. And then finally includes portions of West Texas, from near Hobbs, New Mexico to Lubbock, Plainview, over to Childress, and then finally up into a good chunk of Oklahoma, and then also into portions of the Brazos Valley in northeast Texas. Now, a winter storm watch that will either be upgraded to a winter storm warning or a winter weather travel advisory probably later this morning. The winter storm warning is where we expect the most significant accumulations of ice and hazardous travel conditions beginning later today, continuing through at least Tuesday night, if not Wednesday morning. The traveler's advisory shown in purple, where we will have lower amounts of ice, still problematic travel conditions at times, and that could be from, well, today through again Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Don't get all hung up on which color you're in, etc. The point of the matter is we're going to have a pretty widespread area of winter weather with problematic to downright hazardous travel conditions with multiple rounds of precipitation. Unlike last week where we were above freezing and most of this didn't stick around for more than a few hours, this one's going to stick around. This one's going to be freezing rain and sleet, and this one could cause a plethora of problems. So we'll talk about it. Let's go over to the timing aspects. Now I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. I want to try and keep this video in a reasonable amount of time before I get messages saying people don't want to watch it. This is the high-res simulated radar at 8 a.m. this morning. Now, the radar may not necessarily look exactly like this, but it'll give you an idea of timing. The pinks, that's freezing rain and sleet. The green, that's where temperatures are above freezing. We're not really going to be dealing with snow with this due to a layer of warm air aloft that's going to be melting snow down into rain, and then that rain will either hit the ground as freezing rain and form into ice, or refreeze into sleet or ice pellets and then hit the ground and form into ice. So again, this is about 8 a.m. Pockets of freezing drizzle which will not show up on weather radar but will deposit thin layers of ice on exposed objects. We may start seeing some heavier sleet showers and pockets of freezing rain in northwest Texas by this point. As we head forward to this is 11 a.m. Pockets of freezing rain and sleet in the hill country, North Texas, Texoma. Now we know, based on the time of this recording, the freezing line already making it down to Austin. This may actually not be as far south with the freezing line as we may see. So again, keep a very close eye on temperatures. If you're below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it's precipitating. Watch for ice. This is 11 a.m. Activity moving northeast. You can see we start seeing some heavier activity, not widespread but scattered, in the hill country up into North Texas and Texoma. Again, this will deposit layers of ice where it falls. Not everyone's going to see a bunch of ice this morning into this afternoon. Now, I'm going to get rid of my head so you can actually see parts of northeast Texas, but I'm still obviously here. All right, let's keep going. You can see mid-afternoon thunderstorms, some producing small hail in North Texas, parts of Central Texas, into East Texas, where temperatures are below freezing, thunderstorms with heavy sleet, freezing rain, maybe some small hail. That will cause significant accumulations of sleet and freezing rain and pretty much cause everything just to freeze up instantly. We know if this is what is in the Metroplex at 5 p.m. this afternoon, roads are going to turn into skating rinks faster than a politician trying to get out of a congressional inquiry. 7 o'clock, you can see we still have pockets of freezing drizzle, freezing rain, maybe some sleet from essentially the north sides of Bexar County, north sides of San Antonio Metro, up I-35 all the way to the Red River, into North Texas, northeast Texas to Paris. Head on into the night. Pockets, we'll see a little bit of a lull in precipitation this evening. We start seeing additional freezing precipitation develop overnight. Tuesday morning, becoming widespread freezing rain, widespread pockets of sleet from essentially the Concho Valley, east of the hill country, the I-35 corridor, parts of the Brazos Valley, all the way north to Oklahoma. This will cause widespread travel disruptions. We're going to see bridges, overpasses, those will ice up first. Then we'll start seeing roads ice up. Again, temperatures in the 20s into low 30s. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. Continue through the day Tuesday, 7 p.m. Tuesday, still below freezing. We're not really going to see a diurnal swing in temperatures tomorrow. If you're below freezing tomorrow morning, you're probably going to be below freezing a good chunk of the day. And again, that's shown in pink. By this point, I would expect significant travel disruptions, both air and by ground, across portions of the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, maybe the northern Edwards Plateau, the hill country, central Texas, at least the northwestern half of the Brazos Valley, North Texas, Texoma, northeast Texas. And that was the end of that specific model run. Oh, come on. Late Tuesday evening into early Wednesday morning. Now, this is where we're going to have some questions. We're going to start seeing temperatures actually climb slowly Tuesday night into Wednesday morning as we see warm air advection occur. Warmer air coming in from the south. That'll make temperatures slowly climb tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. But if we have a bunch of ice on the ground, that process is going to be slower than it could be otherwise. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to switch from this model to a lower resolution model that will allow us to see. Here, I'm going to actually pull this full screen into Wednesday. Now, again, this forecast is probably going to change a bit. Let's get through today before we worry about, tomorrow night and Wednesday. This is the North American model. You can see 6 a.m. Wednesday. It has the freezing line much farther south. Again, where that freezing line will be is going to be a good question. It's going to be slowly moving north on Wednesday. But how quickly it moves north will determine just what sort of issues we're dealing with. But in terms of issues, well, I mean, you can see this model would keep us under frozen precipitation into the day on Wednesday across portions of the Concho Valley, Hill Country, North Texas, Big Country, Northwest Texas, with then temperatures rising above freezing Wednesday into Wednesday night as we see warm air advection continue. So again, this is going to be a multi-day, multi-round, significant winter storm. In terms of the travel impacts, one analog might be, especially if we see more sleet than freezing rain, the December 2013 winter storm, where we had a boatload of sleet fall from thunderstorms that then essentially compacted down and formed cobblestone ice. That certainly is a plausibility, if not a likelihood, for some folks, especially big country North Texas, Northwest Texas, Texoma, where we might have a higher chance of sleet than freezing rain. And in this case, trust me, we want sleet. We do not want freezing rain. there is going to be a lot of precipitation. If this was a freezing rain event, or is a freezing rain event, we're going to have enough ice to knock power lines down, cause big time problems in the infrastructure department. Sleet will not stick to power lines nearly as much as freezing rain. Sleet will, either way, we're going to have travel problems, but we don't need to cause, a crippling ice storm. And unfortunately, some of us may see a crippling ice storm out of this. This is a blend of model data, kind of averages out the higher areas and just gives us, an aerial view of what we might be dealing with. You can see ice accumulations here, essentially north sides of San Antonio, Bryan College Station, Texarkana, west to essentially Childress, Plainview, southeast New Mexico, down towards far west Texas, Pecos, down to Alpine, Fort Stockton, essentially at this point, I'd say Del Rio to San Antonio. That encompassed large area. It only takes a 1/100th of an inch of ice to cause slick conditions. About a 1/4 inch of ice or higher, that's when you're going to start knocking trees down, knocking power lines down, and some folks could see 2 to 3 times that much freezing rain if it were to be freezing rain. If we could get sleet to come in, that would knock the freezing rain down. We'd still have, a 1/2 inch to an inch of sleet in spots. So this is not going to be a quick-hitting winter storm per se and all done by tomorrow. We're going to see conditions go downhill in spots this morning where we have freezing drizzle, really starting to go downhill this afternoon, especially in parts of North Texas where we see these sleet storms, where essentially it may be fine 1 mile, you go 2 miles up the road, and everything's turned into a massive skating rink. And again, because temperatures are going to be in the 20s in DFW, that may happen very quickly. As we head into this evening, a bit of a break, still some light precip that could, it's going to freeze, and then heavier precipitation Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Widespread problems, just don't travel if you can possibly avoid it. Bit of a lull tomorrow evening. Temperatures are going to start rising on Wednesday, but we're going to have another wave of precipitation, and data keeps trending colder, so we may have more ice accumulate. But then by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, we'll start climbing above freezing from north to south, south to north, dyslexic Dave, and then we'll finally be able to start clearing out of this on Thursday. But again, I want to emphasize, if this is a freezing rain event and we cannot switch over to sleet, this is going to be a big-time ice storm with travel downright dangerous to impossible in spots, in addition to tree and power line damage. If we can keep this more as sleet, travel is still going to be dangerous to nearly impossible in spots, even with four-wheel drive vehicles on hills, given the fact it's going to be a sheet of ice, cobblestone ice in spots. But that would at least, keep the power on for more people. In terms of how much precipitation we're going to have, this is going to be a pretty good soaker. Now, once everything's all melted down, the liquid equivalent, this is going to be a pretty good rain event. We're looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain from the Concho Valley Hill Country, North Texas, Brazos Valley, East Texas, Northeast Texas. We may even have some minor flooding out of this, even where temperatures are a bit below freezing. So again, big time winter storm we're going to be dealing with. Not snow, but sleet, freezing rain for folks below freezing. If you're above freezing, it's just going to be rain. Maybe some sleet pellets mixed in, but it's going to be a soaker. It's going to be cold. And some of these storms, even where it's below freezing, may drop a lot of sleet really quick and some small hail. So again, we'll be keeping an eye on things, but main message is clear. Hazardous travel conditions, possibly as early as this afternoon, isolated this morning, becoming a little more widespread this afternoon, becoming quite widespread Tuesday morning, well, let's just say tonight, Tuesday morning through at least Tuesday night, if not into the day Wednesday. Then we start going above freezing Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night, and then we're done Thursday as temperatures get above freezing, and we're in the 60s by the weekend. So again, we're going to be busy. This is going to be an impactful winter storm, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. It is not a February 2021 repeat where we're going to be below zero for a week, and it's not going to be a foot of snow. But yes, this will be an impactful winter storm, possibly similar to that of December 2013, where travel became an utter nightmare. So we'll be here. You can keep an eye on the sky with the Texas Storm Chasers interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, and in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. I am planning to have a written discussion accompanying this video, which you'll be able to read in our mobile app and on our website. So be sure to head over to that if you're wanting to see the graphics individually and some written details. All right, we'll be here. We'll be keeping an eye on things. Y'all stay warm, stay safe. If you are traveling, please take a safety kit, blankets, heavy clothing, some food and water just in case you become stranded. All right? We'll talk to y'all again a bit later on, and we'll be here for you. Have a good day. God bless.